A neighbor reported that a young man was dancing upstairs in the middle of the night. But what the neighbor didn't know was that the young man had no legs. He used to be a writer. 3 years ago, a car accident cost him both legs. To focus on his writing, he moved into an old residential complex. But just 2 weeks after moving in, neighbors started filing complaints about him dancing late at night. Eventually, they even showed up with law enforcement and barged into his apartment. But when everyone pulled back the covers, they were stunned speechless. The officers looked apologetic and were about to leave when, to everyone's shock, the dancing sound came again from upstairs. The neighbors were baffled, because Aunt Lee, who lived upstairs, had gone to her son's place 6 months ago. No one should be up there. To find the source of the noise, the officers took the neighbors to the 4th floor. They knocked for a long time, but no one answered. The property manager fetched a spare key. The moment the door opened, a cloud of pungent dust wafted out. It didn't look like anyone lived there, and the moment they entered, the tapping stopped. The team leader ordered a thorough search of the apartment every corner. The group split up. The living room, kitchen, and balcony were all thick with dust, and the dust was completely undisturbed, with no footprints anywhere. Clearly, no one could have been dancing in that room. Just as the leader thought they must have misheard, a shout came from the bedroom. One officer rushed in, but when he came out, he was holding a cat. Everyone sighed with relief. So it was just a cat causing trouble. But then the young man noticed something wrong. The cat's legs had plastic shells tied around them. Someone had deliberately left them there. Yet all the doors and windows were tightly shut. In a sealed apartment, how could a cat survive for over a month? An officer laughed and told him not to make a big deal out of it. Maybe the owner had come back recently. Then they all left. Still, the young man couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. For the next few days, the dancing noise from upstairs didn't return. Just as he began to think he had imagined things, the noise came again a few days later, this time mixed with dragging sounds. He was almost driven mad. To figure out what was really going on upstairs, he quietly sent up a drone while the neighbors were asleep, flying it straight to the upstairs balcony. But what he saw made his blood run cold. The white cloth in the upstairs living room had been pulled back. And what was underneath wasn't a coffee table, it was a coffin. Then the drone's alarm went off. He listened carefully and heard footsteps in the living room. Just as he tried to fly closer for a better look, the drone lost signal. Panicked, he immediately called the law enforcement team and told them everything. The team leader said they were on their way. The moment he hung up, he heard hurried footsteps in the stairwell, coming closer. Is he coming down to get me? The young man quickly locked his door and shoved a cabinet against it. As the footsteps grew louder, police sirens suddenly wailed from downstairs. The team had arrived. He heard them storm up to the 4th floor and start shouting. Just as he was about to breathe a sigh of relief, someone knocked on his door. Who is it? He asked. The person said, Officer Wang. But Officer Wang was upstairs. So who was knocking at his door?